should be live.
Sweet.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Welcome to another episode of the Positive Community Podcast with a beautiful friend of mine, awesome gentleman. I'm super excited to be here. There's a lot to say, there's a lot to go over, there's a lot of knowledge to be shared. I'm super excited. I'm here with uh, the man needs no introduction, but I gotta say something to let the people know. So, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Barcode813. Bernard, you want to come out here?
Very good. What is good? I appreciate you for having me. Thank you for hosting this wonderful podcast. This seems like a fucking awesome time.
Dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm super excited you're here. I'm privileged to have you here, so I appreciate you being here. A little bit about myself, about my friend. Today we're going to be talking about it's a couple artists, a couple human beings.
Creative people.
Yeah. And Bernard, do you mind just saying what's up, saying peace one time?
What it do? What it do? My name is Brennan Bernard. BARCODE813. Ruby Tuesday. Call me whatever.
Beautiful. Thank you for all that. I appreciate that. It seems that we're having some technical difficulties. I appreciate everyone just waiting on me for 1 second. I got one of the best audio engineers out here, so I gotta do that right. I must do it right. I can't be over here screwing around. So just give me 1 second. Let me get this. Wonderful. Think we're back up. If I could have you just, if I could hear your voice one more time, brother.
What it do? What it do?
Oh,
What it
beautiful. Thank you so much, good sir.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
for everyone here with us, thank you for being patient with me. Thank you so much for working with me. So let's get straight to it. We're here to talk about vulnerability, masculinity, and self-expression. A couple disclaimers my friend and I here would like to make is we are not licensed professionals. We are not here to glamorize substances, although we want to talk about them so we could have a discussion, because conversation moves dialogue forward. Having dialogue moves things forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
100%. It's good to shed light on things that people are a little bit afraid to talk about sometimes.
Amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you. So we're here to talk about it. People are maybe ashamed, afraid, don't talk about it. But it's important. Kids are getting into it. Popular culture talks about it. So we're just here to um, shed light, spread peace, positivity, and knowledge. If we have knowledge, we're able to figure out, to acknowledge what is happening. We're able to put some guidance towards our energy to see what we could work on, what we could avoid. That gives us inner peace. We're able to be more positive in our interactions. Excuse me. So we're here to make the most out of the situation. A little bit about myself. I'm from Baghdad, Iraq. That's where I was born and raised. But my friend, could you give us a little bit of context? Where are you from? Where were you born?
Absolutely. I'm from Ocean Beach. It's a small little beach community in San Diego, California. I met your yours truly in Riverside, and now I'm currently in Arizona.
Beautiful. Dude, thank you so much. Yes, amazing. I love the opportunity that we got to meet at Riverside. I'm happy for you. Happy to hear about you doing what you're doing out in Arizona. Um, so a little bit, we got to meet in Riverside. We got to go through experience, growth, and positivity. If you don't mind, could you share with us one thing about your experience that was positive in Riverside? Because I know I went through a whole lot. I saw you go through a whole lot of positivity. It was beautiful to see the growth. I got to be more comfortable with myself, meet different people. That was really positive for me.
Yeah, so I that was 100% part of it. Just the people I met up there, super diverse community, super welcoming, very worldly people, down to earth, genuine. Riverside isn't the prettiest place on earth, especially being from San Diego. But the people
Relatively
definitely made
speaking,
the
yeah.
place. People
Sorry.
definitely made the place, and you know, it's the little stuff that counts the most there. We did attend university. I didn't end up graduating from UCR. I transferred, or I dropped out, and I enrolled in the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. But beyond the academic side of being in Riverside, it was the outside and the interpersonal knowledge that I gained, which provided me with most growth.
Amazing, amazing. I appreciate that. So the you talked a whole lot about a lot of good things. Diversity. People are down to earth. It's not the prettiest place on earth, which I agree with. But it was personally, I don't know if you, which I think you agree with this. It was a beautiful experience. We got to,
Absolutely.
yeah. And you talked about a whole lot about growth and a whole lot about the journey. Thankfully, I was able to find a journey that I agreed with, that I set out in the beginning. I studied, hey, I told myself I'm going to study biochemistry. I studied biochemistry. I attained my degree from UCR. And that's not to say, that was the least of the things that I took away, which was meeting beautiful people such as yourself and getting to experience, excuse me, getting to experience, like you said, you're coming from San Diego, which is super nice and pretty, and I super beautiful, super beautiful. So what I'm trying to say is, I got to meet people, got to get an outlook on life, grow my perspective, and personally, when I came from Iraq, when I came from Middle East, when we came to Southern California, I faced racism and I faced discrimination for who I was. But as you pointed out, I think it's a blessing to live in California because people are so open minded.
100%. Like coming out here, being from California my whole life, and then moving out to Arizona, you realize that people don't think the same. They're not as comfortable with the melting pot of cultures because there isn't a lot of culture out here amongst some of the communities, or there is a culture and it's a not good culture. It's
Mm,
kind of cancerous, or like it's not inviting or welcoming. It's very just
mm,
like us versus them kind of ordeal, and there is tension in weird places at weird points in time.
mm. Thank you so much. You say it's like exclusive, but not in a hot fashion sense, not in a good sense. It just
Yeah, it's a weird little group think kind of
mm,
area.
group thing. Thank you, thank you. So maybe like people who aren't as exposed to other people's, and they think within the group. Wow, thank you for that. Um, yeah, I think it's beautiful when you get a melting pot of different ideals, different peoples, different perspectives, and I appreciate you setting the context a little bit. Setting, I know you shared with me personally a little bit about your experience about running into unnecessary aggression in the street, in the parking lot, in Arizona. And say if you don't mind, if you could share briefly what happened, and
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
we'll take it from
Uh,
there.
so I was in uh, I was in the Safeway parking lot, pushing my groceries back to my car, and I was walking back to my car. And as soon as I reached my car to put my groceries away, the person next to me had left their cart behind my trunk, and they had started to drive away. Me, as the person I am, raised my hands in the air like, "What are you doing?" kind
Mm,
of deal. Like,
yeah.
what's the deal? And this person circled around the aisle, and they hopped out of their truck. I was just wasn't expecting anything of it, and he raised his shirt to show me his belt like buckle, and where he had a holster and a gun.
Mm,
And he said, "Do we have a problem here?" And I said, "Yeah, we
wow.
do. I'm not your I said, "I'm not your daddy. I'm not going to put your cart away for you." And after that, it it de-escalated because I put my foot down, because
Mm.
I
You weren't gonna be
yeah,
messed around with, and
I'm not going to
yeah.
engage in a confrontation like that where it doesn't need to transpire.
Mm. It was unnecessary.
It was
Unless,
unnecessary. It's I have
yeah.
no gain. I have no gain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Thank you for that. So, minding your business, trying to finish off your groceries, get in your car, but something was obstructing your way. Yeah? You're this cart. Someone left their cart.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that that was like really in my way. Like, I could have pushed it out of the
Mm.
way and or put it away. It's just the fact that, like, have some common decency for someone else and their space. And that's not even like at like a bigger level. It's just like, take care of your business.
Mm.
I'm not your supervisor. I'm not here to hold your hand, you know?
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like the point you said about the common decency. Think about others. Um, Maybe if I was the person that you were dealing with, that other person, thinking to myself, oh, I gotta be somewhere or whatever. I gotta run. I'm just gonna throw this cart wherever it is in the parking lot rather than those little designated areas, and then just go about my business. But I put my business in someone else's way, and someone's not gonna clean up. It's not my daddy out here that clean up after me.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that, like, you know, if you're really in that big of a rush, like, it takes 2 seconds to put something away like that. It's kind of like when you like reach out to someone and you're like trying to like it just like it takes 2 seconds sometimes. It doesn't
Mm,
take a lot of effort
low
to
effort. Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't take a lot of effort to do a small thing that affects no one or everyone.
Yes. 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 And it could affect no one. Could affect everyone based on that small decision. They could have made. I could make. You could make. All of us could make. And what I'm trying to say here, I guess, what I'm trying to do here is that could have been avoided. And at the same time, when you were asking, I think it's understandable. I understand asking what's up. Just kind of. And you're both community members. Hey, that's Safeway. I mean, you kind of go there often. You don't expect anything, but then this person kind of literally went 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, like you want to flash a gun in my face, like you're gonna get a response, but like I'm not gonna engage with you. I'm gonna let
Nice.
you know that I'm not gonna engage,
Yes. 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 Yes.
and that we're
Through
gonna go our separate ways. And
through
uh,
verbalizing. Yeah.
ex-
Yeah. Yeah. Avoiding all of that non-confrontational. I appreciate that, and I thought the reason why I wanted to talk about this, bring this back online, is because I thought you did so good in de-escalating a situation that escalated for no reason. You were just minding your business, being a community member. Then this guy like tries to take it to a new level, and you de-escalate with words, and I appreciate that.
I asked him a question, honestly.
Yeah.
I asked him if he was gonna shoot me in the parking lot.
Wow.
He
I
got
don't
back in
mean
his
to.
car.
Because he wasn't gonna do it.
He wasn't gonna do it.
Yeah. That's
You don't need to say you're not gonna do it. You don't need to egg someone on. It's just like, are you going to? Like, think about it.
over an empty grocery cart.
Yeah, like take a second to think about it. That's all. We just need to we need to remove ourselves for a second sometimes to
Wow.
realize what's going on.
Dude, thank you so much. We need to remove ourselves for a second, think about what's going on. I super appreciate that. And I think we all could respect that. I think we all could benefit from that. But that's not to take away from the point of why you moved to Arizona. I think, dude, God bless, Godspeed. You're doing amazing things. You previewed a little bit. You said you moved for a conservatory of recording arts. Could
And
you please?
sciences.
And
Yes.
sciences. Beautiful.
So I was a media and cultural studies major at UC Riverside with a minor in business and political science. I was trying to get into the entertainment industry, either via law or through representation. And I just felt like I wasn't reaching my full potential up there. I was going through some stuff on the side, but I was also working on my music super hard. I'm a lyricist MC for anyone out there who doesn't necessarily listen.
Yeah. And they're gonna hear more about your art incoming.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I thought that I knew what I wanted in Riverside, and I realized I was going about it the wrong way. So once quarantine hit, I saw that as an opportunity to kind of just change my path educationally. I decided not to continue down the traditional education path. The Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences. It's like a,
Yeah,
I guess
could you
the
share
best
with
way to
us
best
what
way to
that is?
describe it is it's a vocational school.
Okay.
But
For
it's
the
a private
recording
school.
arts and
It's
sciences.
it's for audio engineering, movies, live sound like concerts, anything like that. Music in studio production, plays, you name it. Anything audio related is what I'm learning about. Pro Tools, Logic, Signal Flow, you name it.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you made an adjustment. You were going about your path, like you said, the traditional schooling, traditional higher education path. What made you realize, so we could, the listeners benefit from your experience, and I appreciate all that you have to say. What made you realize that you could benefit from doing something else? Or benefit more, Was there, I know you said it happened in quarantine, and there must have been a lot of thinking.
Yeah, so I guess I realized that, first of all, I was never necessarily the greatest student, traditionally speaking. I'm a bright person. I'm not going to toot my own
Yeah,
horn, but
you are. I second that.
I I didn't really care about some of the stuff that we were learning, or it didn't really pertain to me, and I never felt that way. And when you get to college, it's like you're you're really paying for it to further your education, and if you don't see yourself going further, then what are you paying for? Nothing. You're wasting your money. Um, Personally, I found myself in a little bit of a debacle. I'm trying to think, just like a quagmire of not good stuff, some substance abuse. I was using Adderall to make up for my lack in motivation for school. It started just for school, and then it became more of a life thing. Um, And
It
I was
seeped out
just
without you didn't maybe intend it to do that, but without your prior knowledge, that's what it.
exactly because like I mean like I do have some attention deficit,
Hmm.
um, but
Thank you for
not
sharing.
enough. Yeah, but not enough to really be prescribed. My dad never really wanted me on it when I was younger. And then I got to college, and I came into college. I was coming out hot out the boxes out of high school. I was ready to thrive and learn and kill it. And I had some other like outside family life stuff go on.
Mm.
Um, outside of school that kind of affected me, which kind of started to lead me down a different path, a darker path. Um, but
Bro, thank you so much for sharing. Thank
yeah,
you, and I see you reflecting it, and I appreciate that. Um, one thing I'd like to, so what you said, a whole bunch of things that are, what do you call it, a pot of gold, a gold mine to
yeah, absolutely.
learn from and take away from. You said you were in traditional school, however, by traditional school grading requirements or grading standards, you weren't necessarily excelling as much as you would have, and you as a person are an excellent human being. You know, you're able to do your work, you do your work fantastically, you're able to balance, you have a sound mind, you take care of your mind, you take care of your body, and you're a joy to be around. We've been in plenty respectable social situations where you are the life of those situations, whether it be a gathering, people are celebrating life or what have you. People are just getting together at the end of the week. You have been the center of those. If it's like, let's say a house full of people, you have a whole room to yourself, people just wanting to listen to you, to hang out with you. So it's not that what I'm getting from you is the schooling, what you saw in the schooling, traditional schooling, didn't reflect what you could achieve.
Yeah, I was about to say it wasn't necessarily like the grading system. Like I can, I was, I learned all the material. I didn't do the work behind it because I didn't care enough, but I learned
Mm.
everything. I just didn't reflect that via schoolwork because I was just busy doing other things. I just wanted to learn about different stuff and do different things and interact with people. But yeah, like it really gave me the opportunity to take that social side and that academic side and kind of fuse it into one because, like in a studio, you have to
Mm.
be a knowledgeable person, but you also can't, if you're like a bad hang, then no one's gonna want you in there either. Like you're around a bunch of people, and sometimes they're famous, or sometimes they have a lot of money, and you can't be blowing it like that. So it's a nice way to kind of put everything into a hands-on, creative, and learning and social environment.
Beautiful, beautiful. Putting that all together in a nice mix of those different worlds, and you're balancing your different worlds. I love that. Personally, I would have, dude, had you told me this years ago when I was just starting college, maybe my life would have been different. Because I feel like I did choose to stay in the classroom, maybe more, or focus on the schoolwork, like you said, the schoolwork, uh, maybe a little over the threshold of balance. Sometimes I feel like I missed out on, because on weekends I didn't go out on this road trip with my housemates at the time or whatever have you. I didn't mix the social and the knowledge. I was really chasing that knowledge. And I appreciate you coming on here because I am working on the social now. I am working on how to add benefit. It's not just about myself, my grades, my studies, and what is my work, within a 9 to 5 job setting or within a school study setting. It's more about real life, is what you're telling me, right?
Yeah, I mean, like without the outside experience, like we can read books for days. And I mean, like everyone's field comes with different obstacles. Your field being in like medical, correct? Are you still pursuing medicine? Yeah, like that's something where like you need to like really invest your time into banging your head into those books
Mm.
because you're, you're in charge of someone's health, maybe someone's life one day. Man, I'm just in charge of you listening to the music you like and you going and you having a good time at a concert. Yeah, I love it, but like comparing is a very difficult thing and I think
Mm.
it's not necessarily fair in that aspect. But I feel like we all as individuals need to protect ourselves from burnout. And that's
Mm.
the time that we do take away from what we love doing or what we're studying just to come back to center.
Beautiful. Just to reset, get back the balance.
Yeah, like it's okay to like I personally spend over 30 hours a week in a studio or at school. And, because I want to learn and I want to learn and I want to be the best and I want to know everything under the sun. That's my ambition in this point in time, in this fashion of education.
Mm.
But, like I am a human being with real feelings
Yes.
and real emotions and real life just happens, man. Sometimes I need to take a step back and take a deep breath. I want to maybe sometimes I want to go hang out at the pool with one of my friends. Like it's okay to take that time away to regather because if you don't, you start losing your sense of self.
Wow. If you don't regather, if you don't take the time, you're sort of going to be forced to deal with that later
Yeah,
if you lose
exactly.
your
The
sense of self.
burnout, the burnout will destroy you because you just like, even though you work so hard for what you want all the time, like there's still this need of like, who am I now? I'm just my work.
Mm. Yes, yes. Dude, I love that. Thank you so much. Because I talked with a family member of mine who's a physician, and he's a foreign graduate physician. So like I was, he was born and raised and lived more of his life than I did back in Iraq, where we were born. And he got his medical education from there, and amazing, God bless, good for him. And then he came to the United States due to, due to immigrate, due to needing to escape those situations. As I'm sure people are familiar with the past 20 years and whatnot. But so he came here, and then he went through this process of taking his board exams, the USMLE, and then getting matching into a residency here. And he's an amazing person. I love hanging out with him. I love being with him, um, and socializing with him. But for him, he says the way So I don't want to portray like a missing image or a partial image of this person. But he told me is, set your goals, set your goals so that you're working for them. Set them high enough so that you have like 2-3 steps ahead of time, and while you're working on getting those steps, on getting to those goals, live your life in the meantime. Life will happen. And he told me, go out there, socialize, go out there outside of the classroom. Yeah, spend your time, lock your door, studying. But then after that, go grab food with people and that you enjoy. Because for him, when he became an American physician, he's like, okay, what next? And it was kind of like he had finished a marathon or a race, and then, or he won a game, but then that was one moment of his life. He's like, what do I do now? And
And that's another thing, like time, man. Like everyone always talks about time management, and that's not a real thing because you can't
mm,
manipulate time. You're not going to go back and take 40 seconds off the clock right now. We're not going to be able to rewind 40 seconds right now. It's all about priority management and what you feel is your priority in that moment or what you want to prioritize over other things. And sometimes it needs to be
Mm.
yourself, sometimes it needs to be others, and sometimes it needs to be your work.
Wow. You can't manipulate time. You can only prioritize. So it's not. Wow, that's a super good one. I love that because you can't take back time, and it's not necessarily having the time or not, because you
Yeah,
have
like
it.
the time's gonna keep moving. You're not gonna stop it. You're not gonna go back or forth. It's like what you have to do in that time. What can you do with it, and what are you gonna do with it?
Yes, yes. It's and it's I've been Brennan. I've been focusing on my language, bro. Like, you
Mhm.
know, saying. So one of the things relevant to this is like it's not saying, oh, I don't have time for that. I'm busy. Oh, I can't make time for that right now. I'm choosing to prioritize my studies. I'm choosing to prioritize speaking with so and so on the phone rather than, mindlessly scrolling the internet or whatever. But it's choosing, making a choice to do with your time. I appreciate that. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
100%.
And you have chosen to put a lot of time and effort, bro, into your art, your work.
I have, I have.
It's
It's been,
amazing.
it's been a journey, man. It's been. I feel like I haven't really talked about this journey before. Like I feel
Wow.
like people always have known that I rap, but I don't know where they think I got it from or where it actually started, you know?
Okay, okay. Could you please give us a glimpse of where that started?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny. Um, this has to start way back. So my senior year of high school, I moved out and I was living on my own and I'd spend time with a lot of friends and
Mm-hmm.
being a Californian teenager and a hoodlum, we would smoke a lot of marijuana in the car and we'd rap and stuff and they were really good at it and or they were good. I thought they were good at the time at least. And I couldn't do it, but I always wanted to, I always wanted I and then I got the courage and I could say like 2 bars. I was a 2 bar genius. I could go a da da da, a da da da, frozen. So I remember one time in the car, we were having one of those moments, and I did one of those things again, and I said something. I was like, da da da, da da da, tables,
Okay.
stop. And everyone started cracking up in the car. They were like, tables? I was like, I don't know. Like, and after that, I was just like, I was a little embarrassed, like, because they were pretty good. They could like keep going, like I could just think of a couple things. And the next time I was like, I left that night, I was like, never again. Like, I'm never letting them do me like that again. And so
Uh-huh.
it became a thing where I was just like, I had written some stuff before that, just like writing lyrics or whatever to other instrumentals.
Okay.
But
Yeah, yeah.
when that happened, I was like, you know what? None, no more of that. It has never changed. Since that day, all I do in the car is listen to instrumentals and
Mm.
I freestyle over them and I practice all the time. And it became more of like, oh, I can do this. Like it was just a practice thing. It wasn't like a like God-given talent that I just like could rap out of nowhere. Like it was a practice thing. And it was like I liked parts of school. Like I was a huge literature dude. I didn't like reading, but like I like
You
poetry a lot.
enjoy it. You
Yeah, I like
appreciate it.
poetry. I like the openness of thought within it and how you can
Mm.
express yourself in different ways.
Mm.
Um, so after that is where I kind of was like, I really like this, and I'm not really liking some of the music that's coming out right now. And I think I can do better. And
Nice. I
or
love
maybe
that.
not better, but I can contribute something different.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, yes. It's
because
kind of.
yeah,
No,
like
I don't
art
want
isn't
to cut
about
you off.
being better than the next artist. It's about being different.
Being your version.
Exactly.
Being your version. And I love that, bro. Man, you keep giving me so many good things to talk about. I don't know. So you talked about it's not, it started as a this wholesome thing with your friends of joy and enjoying each other's company with a little friendly competition. Not really a competition, but you just didn't want to be showed up by someone, or you didn't want someone to have
Yeah, it was
60.
friendly competition. I mean, like, oh, like you say something like cool, or like you spit something hard, you're like, oh, like what? Like that was crazy. Like,
Yes, yes, yes. Bringing out the better levels of each other by
yeah,
by putting out your own work, and that motivated you to work on something that you didn't have. It wasn't God-given talent. You said, well, you're being modest. I think you got talent. But the thing is, you put the time and effort, kind of like a sport.
yeah. I mean, like I grew up playing baseball my whole life, and like honestly, I could tell you, I was way more naturally gifted at baseball than I was at rapping.
Wow.
I could pick up a ball and throw it hard, but like you talking about rhythm and flow, we got a whole different situation. I loved listening to music growing up, but I could not sing.
Mm. Mm.
I love music. I've always loved music, but do I have perfect pitch? No. Can I tell you what note that is off the top of my head? No. I grew up with playing a couple instruments. Have they really stuck with me besides maybe a couple guitar chords and banging on the drums and maybe some bass? Absolutely not.
But you're working on it. You are
But yeah,
putting, yeah. You didn't stop the conversation there. You didn't be like, oh, put your arms up. It is what it is.
it is. Exactly.
Yeah. You said it, you did acknowledge your situation, but then you worked on it, and now you're producing. I mean, man, you got this major work, bro, with a lot of knowledge, a lot of positivity to come from it, and that is your chopumentary, bro. Amazing work. I think the lyrics are great. I love the imagery. You said you're a fan or you're a student of poetry, bro. It makes sense. Totally makes sense because there's so much poetry. If you haven't checked it out, for those of you listening, if you have not yet checked it out, first of all, what on earth? No, I'm just kidding. Check it out on SoundCloud. The boy Barcode813. The
Yep.
chopumentary.
Chopumentary on SoundCloud. I have my EP on everything else, all streaming services, but mixtapes can't be sold on Spotify or Apple Music, so go hit me up there.
Yes, yes, yes. Support the boy, enjoy the music. And could you share with us a little bit, give us an idea, what is the chopumentary? What does it mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Chopumentary is a pardon me for a second. I just got a low battery.
No problem. We were just getting to the good stuff, so
I know. Hold on.
just stay tuned with us,
Ah,
everyone.
all right,
It's
we're all good.
no
We're all good.
problem.
All back.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
The
Go ahead.
Chopumentary. The Chopumentary is a documentary written on chops. What a chop is when you
It's
put
a thing.
yeah, it's a thing. It's known by a lot of names, a mobile, a moke. It's when you put tobacco and marijuana
Mm.
and mix it together.
Mm.
It's incredibly addicting and it's
Mm.
really not good for you. For me, it personally put me in a really weird headspace, and that was a couple years after realizing it. Um, but it's a documentary written on chops about the effects of chops and the experiences I have in Riverside and
Mm.
kind of the conclusion of that chapter. And at the end of the day, just saying no more, no more
Thank you.
self harm in that
Mm.
sense.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
no
you.
more no more tobacco, no more chops, no more Adderall. We're turning the page now.
Thank you for your experiences, for sharing your experiences. Thank you for. I'm thankful for the realization you made of its detriments to your health, of the potential, the potential and the real, what you realized, bad effects. And thank you for throwing that disclaimer out there. Thank you for sharing to the people so that they know that this is dangerous. This could put you in a bad space.
Yeah, I mean, like, it does. I mean, like, hey, I want to be super real about this. Like, like I said, we said earlier, we're not glorifying anything,
Mm.
not glorifying any drug use. Have
Yes.
I tried a lot of different stuff? I have. And you know what? When I like rap about it now or like in those songs, it's mostly about reflection. I do not do that stuff anymore. You
Mm.
know, like it's to bring
Wonderful.
awareness to
Wonderful.
the possible effects that it can have on you because it affects everyone differently.
Yes.
But it's about shedding light on it because, you know, everyone thinks that drugs are cool at first. And you know what? They might seem fun, but remember the times when you were younger
You've
when
tried it. Yes. Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Go
remember
ahead.
the times when you were younger when you didn't need anything to be happy or high on something to just love an experience, you know?
Oh, I love that, dude. Uh, yeah. I mean, I can't say enough good things about childhood. Uh, about like the innocence and the pure joy. Like that
Purity.
was purity. Yeah. 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 This is from your intro. Man. I don't want to move on from that topic, but we gotta
Yeah,
get. I'd love to get to these songs these lyrics that are um, very poetic. And from your intro, from the shop, and I quote, take me a chop, I feel so alive. Take me a chop, I feel so divine. Take me a chop is just a means to survive. What does that mean, bro? Like,
so
share with
that's
us.
how like the stages go. I mean, like it makes you like at first
Mm,
you're like, "Oh my God, like wow, like I've never felt anything like this before. Like this is cool. Like I want to try it again." And then you end up infatuating with it and you're just like, oh my God, like every day, every morning, every time I wake up, it's divine. I want to
mm,
wake up and take a chop. I want to wake up and get inebriate myself to the point where I don't want to feel anything. Um, and then it's just a means to survive, man. Like
mm.
I right before I moved out of Riverside, I was really broke and poor and you know that's all I was surviving off of. Like I was
Mm.
like like the appetite suppressant of the nicotine in there is what's like what was just like keeping me going just because I didn't have any
Wow.
money for food. Like I was and even past that point, you start running out of money for weed, you start running out of money for food, all you're doing is just taking tobacco bowls out the bong and you just feel disgusting.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. So much went through that. And I love how you said it goes in stages. You kind of like first starting, it's oh, this is nice. Oh, because most, people rap about it, people, movies about it. It's all over, it's in our face. So not talking about it is kind of, it does more harm than good, in my opinion. That's why I think it's so important. Um, you said like your the stages is kind of you're from a distant attracted to the good things and you start getting on it and then you're like you start using it and it's infatuating, but then it's sort of like a means to an end, but then it becomes the end itself, or it
Yeah,
becomes
it's the addiction. I mean, like, you don't realize you're getting addicted to it while you're getting addicted to it. You just realize that you really like it a lot. And then you come to that point where you're like, oh man, I can't stop.
wow, wow. Sort of like brought so what you're making me think of right now is the power of habits, the power of repeated doing things, whether it has biochemical or physiological dependence or not. You are making this a part of your day.
if you make it a part of your routine, it becomes
Your routine.
exactly, it's the routine.
Mm, yeah. So like for me, that's something you're talking about, something that is dangerous for your health. Personally, I've been working on a good habit during quarantine, and that's I took up like just walking, bro, just walking around my neighborhood, and I'm not. It's nothing that exciting, but I've made it part of my routine where it helps me live in the now because I'm going through space, but I'm also going through time. So I'm like, when
Yeah,
I
and it's another thing with like that's goes back to like priority management too. Like you want to like you could take a chop and sit on the couch and watch 3 hours of TV, or you could go outside and take a nice walk and just enjoy life for what it is.
beautiful,
Not that.
beautiful, and for me, there's like there's kind of when I introduce that to my routine, I feel the good effects and I want to do it again. It does feel divine. It does feel good. But then if I take it out of my routine, it I feel bad, but because I was putting effort into it, I was working on myself, it was virtuous, I don't feel the effects of that subtraction as you would, maybe when you take away a bad habit that is really enjoyable, like substance use. Do you do you agree somewhat there?
Absolutely. I am a huge believer in the routine.
Mm.
And, like it used to be wake up and take a chop and do nothing, or wake up and take a chop and attempt to go to school because
Mm.
I'd go and I probably wouldn't even go do anything. But now it's wake up, stretch, work out, come home, take a shower, go to class, go on with my day. It's the little stuff, like you keep
Beautiful.
doing the little things. I remember when I came back home from Riverside for quarantine, I was probably the lowest point in my entire life. And I just like I didn't want to do anything, and like I just felt like life was over sometimes, like
Wow.
playing people saw me like that. And yeah, I just didn't want to be here. Like I was not in a good space. I don't think a lot of people realize that of how bad of a space I was actually in. But my dad, shout out to my dad, man. Like he really pulled up for me on this one.
Wow.
And um he told me something that like from then on out, like since that day he told me was like kind of prolific. I mean, he was like, yo, like if you don't think you can do anything,
Mm-hmm.
make your bed. He was like,
Mm.
Start by making your bed. Because if you get one thing done today, at least you got that one thing done, right?
Nice. Get a
And
get
then
a
it becomes another
W.
habit. You're like, oh, I can do that. And then you start doing other stuff. And then you start doing other stuff and other stuff and other stuff. And it builds and builds and builds. You're like, you know what? I'm capable. I'm me again. Like it's the snowball effect, but in a good way.
Beautiful. I love that. The snowball effect in a good way. And it starts with something simple like making your bed, low effort.
Low effort. Going for a walk. Low effort.
Yes.
Effort, but low effort. Um,
Yes. It's not like I'm hiking Mount Baldy.
exactly. Like you
Yeah.
could literally go out like even me sometimes like these days. Like, am I a professional skateboarder? Absolutely not. But do I like to go skate down the street and just cruise for 5, 10 minutes? 100%. Just because I can.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Just because you can and just because it makes you feel good, whatever reason is good for you.
Yeah, the breeze in my hair, the sun on
You're
my skin.
nice. You're living life, man.
Right. Yeah, I mean like, hey, I have lost a lot of people in my life, so might as well take advantage of the opportunity
Mm.
of being able to see another day while we can. Tomorrow's
Amen.
never promised.
Rest in peace to all those, and tomorrow's never promised. I appreciate that. And that's kind of, we all have our demons we fight with, and we all have our, you mentioned a little bit, it kind of, it's making sense to me. The artist, you, the artist, and the art. You talk about off that same song where you say it's a means to survive. You say never get to sleep in, battling these demons. And you clearly have been fighting the good fight, bro, and I applaud you. more power to you. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. And I
Absolutely.
could you. Um, so one thing, you already told us what helped you is your father's advice. One advice for someone who, or anyone who may also be at a dark point in their mental health or dark point in life, how to get through that dark times.
You know, life comes in many different forms. You get a deck of cards, you got to play those deck of cards.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything's great all the time either. Like I have made a lot of changes, but like life still gets you down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I gotta say that you gotta trust yourself. Sometimes you gotta take big chances on yourself and believe in yourself a little bit more than you think you're capable of.
Mm.
Um, you have to. I don't want to say have to because like everyone works differently. Like my way worked for me. Um, be
Thank you for that.
open, be open about what you're feeling and what you're going through. Yeah, I mean, like at first it sucks to share. Like,
Mm.
do I want to tell my dad that I'm depressed and I got addicted to Adderall and that I don't want to be here anymore? No. But like opening up and sharing that is like huge, and especially as a man, like as a male, like people kind of give me, like, I'm 6'2", 185 pounds, I'm a big guy. People just kind of look at me like I like am an emotionless rock of a
Mm.
human being that like doesn't feel anything, and I'm like,
Mm.
I mean, like, yeah, I can hold it together and like I can be stoic, but like it doesn't take away from what I actually feel.
Mm.
So like expressing that and being vocal about it is huge. I was recently reading something um
Okay. I'd love to hear more about it.
called it's about, I'm pretty sure it's called Pluralistic Ignorance. It's
Okay.
it's having a group of people feel all the same way,
Mm.
and someone like you start feeling worse because no one talks about it, but everyone feels the same way and you think no one else feels that way.
Oh, very nice. That's super pluralistic ignorance, you said?
Yeah, pluralistic ignorance is what
Wow.
I believe that's called. Yeah, so it's like, a lot of people are actually going through it, and like you don't realize it. I mean, like everyone always has something going on in life. That's why you don't compare or like be like you don't understand, even though they might not.
Nice.
But like,
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
yeah, it's like it's about being open with who you are as a person and what you're going through, and like, yeah, it's maybe not everyone, but finding the right people, or your people, your family, your community, your friends, it depends, I mean, who you are as a person, but expressing what you're feeling takes the load off. I used to bottle everything up, and it turned me into a freaking champagne bottle. One little thing just everywhere.
Mm.
You
Mm.
just explode. You become a bomb, a ticking time bomb. It's like once you start taking just like little notches out of your how wound up you are, you realize that it's a lot more doable than you think. And
Mm.
like, yeah, the hardest person I know on myself. I beat myself up all the time about schoolwork, and like I stress myself out. But like I'm able to talk about it and like share about
Mm.
things how I feel, and like, other people get it because they go through the same thing. And when you hear that,
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
it's very, I don't want to say calming or soothing, but it's just, it takes a it makes
It,
the load lighter.
it is relieving. I do agree.
It's relieving.
Yeah. Wow. Bro, thank you so much. The importance of opening up and the importance of acknowledging that there are problems in life. In life.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm a happy guy now. Like, I'm pretty upbeat, go gung ho. I'm pretty Gregor's person. Like, I'm out there. Like, I like being. I'm a people's person, but it doesn't mean I don't.
have bad days.
Sure, absolutely. I love that. I appreciate that. I saw like I remember a long time ago, it was like life comes with ups and downs, and it was like a heartbeat. It was like if you don't have downs, if you don't have ups or downs, there's something wrong, or you're dead.
Yeah.
so so
Yeah.
I super appreciate that your perspective on that, your experience on that,
And my
and it's
aunt always used to tell me too, like
yeah.
even more so, like if someone asks you how you're feeling and you just say good and you know
Mm.
that that's not true,
Uh-huh.
then the only disservice you're doing to anyone is yourself. She always used to tell me honesty is the best policy and the truth will set you free. So shout out to my aunt Sabette for that one. That is a huge one for lightening the load and feeling relief.
Awesome. That is a huge one. I love that. And wow, dude, thank you so much for this beautiful talk. This has been amazing. I'm like overloaded with how much good stuff you're saying right now. uh,
Thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on here, man. It's been awesome.
Dude, no, I mean, unless you want to leave, I'm just
No,
starting the
no, no. I'm just
conversation. No,
thanking you, man.
I'm
Like,
just
hey,
kidding. I'm just kidding. Um, wow, yeah, um, yeah, you talking about like the importance of unloading. When you talked about that, I had this image brought to my head of you in the parking lot, in the Safeway parking lot you talked about earlier. And could we, just so we could be fair to people, and especially that person is not here to explain themselves, but could you say that that person maybe suffered from bottling in their emotions? Like you said, you're when you don't unload, you become a weapon, like a champagne bottle, like it just ready to pop, almost unnecessarily. It seems unnecessarily, you know. So
but
that's
yeah,
super
I could definitely see that guy just being in that kind of situation. I don't want to speak for him because I don't know, but like,
right. Exactly.
it's to reach that point is usually a sign of that.
Like backlog of stresses unrelieved. And if that's why I think most of us, meaning like in today's society and popular culture and mainstream discussions, when someone asks you, hey, how are you doing, most of us do say good. I know I'm guilty of that most of the time. Now I try to say I'm thankful because I'm trying to push that mentality on my own self, because I'm trying to push affirmation and gratitude. For those of us who haven't had your aunts or your all this beautiful advice, um, how do you tell people? What do you tell people otherwise to keep going through things, to open discussions? If someone asks you how are you doing, um, but I personally feel like I'm a burden when I talk about how I'm feeling.
I get that way too. Like it is a person to person thing sometimes.
Hmm.
Like sometimes you don't want to like be a Debbie Downer if you're going through a hard one and
Yes.
someone's like all upbeat and you're like, "Oh, how are you?" You just kind of like smile and wave. You're like, "Oh, I'm good." Like that's a situational thing. But if I'm talking about on like a deeper level, like more like if we're together like this in like a setting and I'm like, "Dude, how are you?" Like for real. And you just tell me good, then I know you're not good. But I'm not gonna pull your teeth to freaking find out. Like if you want to share with me, then yeah, and I want to be here for you. But it's like if someone asks me how I am, it's just like, how are you? Like for real,
Hmm.
like actually, like
Hmm.
I, because that's when you get the best conversations too. I mean, like we can have a conversation about music or about this or that, but like I don't know, I resonate with feelings and emotions and experiences and like and it and you can relate over that stuff and like if you can offer advice, sometimes they might shed light on something that you've never really thought about before, something that you've been struggling with, like sometimes you ask questions to answer your own questions or
Hmm.
people
Wow.
ask you questions to answer your questions.
Yes. 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 it's not we don't have it figured out. Everyone's trying to figure it out. Yeah, yeah, and asking questions is super good. I have a question, bro, about you from your song number 3 on the Tropiumentary, Turkish Royals. I'd love a little. I'd love a little elaboration, bro. I'd love to hear your perspective. I have an idea. So, you say that's just something I don't need. I don't need you.
It
Cause,
is.
yeah, cause I mean that's truth. And at the same time, you continue to say that's just something I don't need. I forgot how to be. uh, for me, I was like, wow, that's, going away from things. Sometimes when I don't walk, when I don't meditate, I forget who I am, how to be in that space. If I rely on something, if I'm stressing too much, you know, is this, do substances, my question is, do substances make you forget who you are, as a hypothetical question?
So Turkish roll. Sometimes, yes, absolutely. To go to what you're saying, yes, 100%. You can get very lost in that realm because you just like that's what you associate with. Like people like, what do you do?
Mm.
And then like the first thing you can think is smoke pot. Like, yeah, of course. Like that's not who's Brennan Rubin. Oh, he smokes pot. That's not me. That's not me at
Mm.
all. No, like,
There's much more to it.
yeah, like, have I smoked weed? Yeah, but that's not who I am. Like,
Who
what I
you
do,
are,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like,
Who you are is a very, I mean, you're a whole person, bro. I'm inspired by how in touch you are with your masculinity and your vulnerability. You, I mean, look at the way you dress. Obviously, you're mad fashionable, but it takes some self-expression to do that.
yeah.
And
I recently dyed my hair leopard print. I mean, I'm pretty out there guy.
thank you, dude. Thank you so much for bringing that up. You dyed the leopard print. Why?
Because I felt like it, because I wanted to, because I'm
Beautiful.
me. I'm just a goofy, wacky dude, and I like cats, man. I like cheetahs and leopards.
Wow, dude, you love cats? You love cheetahs? But
Hell
you're
yeah.
a guy? You're a man? Question
Yeah,
mark?
dude, my favorite color is pink, bro.
Whoa. Do those two exist,
Whoa.
bro?
Dude, it's just like I'm super comfortable with myself, like if someone
Mm.
wants to
Amen.
come up to me and call me like a homophobic slur, like shame on them. I think it's pretty funny that they want to come do that, not knowing me. Um, and just for like being out there, like I can wear flower print shorts out here in Arizona and you have some dude on a motorcycle flipping you off. It's just like
Oh, man.
I'm like, come on, man. Like, is it really like, do we really need to go this far? Um, so yeah, I mean, like, it's just about vulnerability. Okay, I guess this is how I like to explain this all. Confidence is not about walking around like you're the toughest shit in the room, or like you're just like hot shit. That's
Mm.
cockiness. But like, confidence is about instilling it in others and making them comfortable with the way they feel about themselves. And that goes deeper into vulnerability. So, yeah, did I dye my hair leopard print because I can? Hell yeah, I did. Do
Mm.
I want to give other people that confidence? Hell yeah, I do. Go dye
Mm.
your hair whatever color you want to. Go be crazy to a certain extent. Like express yourself in the way that you want without
Yes.
having the fear of what others think within your thoughts. It's just like, or how accepting others are going to be because, like I can walk through life with blinders on and just like live a very boring life where I could express myself and interact with people and try and make as many connections as I can, man. Like I'm just trying to connect all the puzzle pieces of life and society and just make a big web.
Wow, I love that. I love that, and I relate to that. I'm also trying to make a big web, um, but I'd love to. I'm trying to make a big web with this community of positivity and being true to ourselves, being true to who we are, and expressing it. Because I think if we have deep pent up um, information, whether it be experiences or truths that we haven't expressed to others, I think that kind of boxes us in, which is what I heard you saying. You express yourself, you unbox yourself. You're trying to see. Uh, you my man. You're 6'2", like you said. You're a pretty sizable guy. If I see you on the street, I may think one thing, just by based off of your size. But then if I see the way you dress, I may think another thing. But those are all me thinking without getting to know you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and one thing, actually, Yoon was on here a couple episodes ago. I'm super thankful for, is he was saying about how don't discount others right off the bat just because of apparent differences.
100%. I totally agree with that statement. I feel like I have a saying that goes along with that, just because, like, I do feel that way. I always tell people to not pre-select my intention.
Mm. Mm. Could you expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, like, first of all, um, music and stuff, or even with like music, women, interpersonal relationships, just any day exchanges, like people will like kind of pre-select who you are in their mind without knowing you, and then automatically give you an answer response that was is like,
Mm.
what? Like, I can tell you that I was with some friends, I was out with some friends
Mm-hmm.
a couple weeks ago, and it was one of their 21st birthday parties, and one of the girls was like fall down drunk, and I'm helping her out of the bar with our group, and I had some girl come up to the girl who's like I'm carrying in my arms back to the car. Oh my
Yeah.
God, are you okay? Do you need me to come get you? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, you think I'm gonna do anything to this poor woman? Like, I'm
Mm.
putting her in the car. Like, how are
Yeah.
you gonna come at me and kind of just put me in like an uncomfortable situation like that without knowing me, just because I'm a big, tall, strong dude walking out like with a group of people from a nightclub, and like I'm carrying someone who's freaking done for it. Like, why do I
Mm. I
it sent
think
me because I'm not someone to partake in any of that. I just respect myself and women too much.
yes.
For
Thank
that
you.
to come at me really twisted, it's like my soft spot, and it's
Mm. Mm. Why is that your soft spot? I'd love to hear more.
Um, I mean, like, I
If
lost my
you're
mom.
willing to share.
Yeah, I mean, like, I lost my mom at a young age, and like I wear her initials on my wrist, with the breast cancer ribbon. So, like,
God bless your soul.
I I do everything in her image, and like, as a woman, like, if I'm gonna do everything in her image, like, I'm gonna respect women, and I'm gonna make sure that they're okay. Like, I'm a protector. I like to take care of people. I like to make sure
Mm.
everyone's good. I like to be the most understanding person in the room and the most helpful person in the room if I can be. So like, for someone to come at me like that without knowing me, and like not knowing my track record with that stuff, and like just like how much I like to like put myself out there to actually help and make sure everyone's okay,
Yes.
really, like, it hurts. Like, it
Mm.
hurts me deep down. Like, I don't want to be categorized as part of this fucking group of atrocious people.
Yes.
I'm here to help, and if you want to send negative vibes my way, then like, should I help? Of course I will, but like,
Mm. It deters you. It kind of,
yeah.
it's not a good vibe. Um,
Mm-mm.
dude, thank you so much for sharing. Your mother was a beautiful soul. I didn't get to know her, but because you act in her image, and you're a beautiful human being, bro, with a great heart, great attitude, great mind, and I love so many things about you. But I'd love to pause a little bit and zoom out in that situation, for because you're talking about in a social scene where there's substances involved,
Mm-hmm.
namely alcohol and such, and there is sort of grounds for people having not the people questioning what's going on. Hey, is this
Yeah,
really good?
100%.
Yeah. um, but now that we established that and we acknowledge that, but you're a great guy. You are kind to people.
I was like this. I was chaperoning basically. These people were yelling
Yes,
at me.
yes,
I was
thank
just
you.
making sure everyone was having a good time,
Mm.
and someone ended up having a little bit too good of a time. So when you walk out with your friend's girlfriend whose birthday it is, and their friend over your shoulder,
Mm.
out of the bar, not even
Right.
like out like stumbling, like we're carrying them.
Mm. Yeah,
For
yeah.
someone to be like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Sorry, honey, my hands are full. Like, I need to go to the hospital." Like, they can't even walk right now.
Yeah, yeah. And exactly. So you were doing the work. You were spending all this effort and taking care of this person out of the goodness of your heart, goodness of your character, these girls, but then this someone who played no part in taking care, right? And no
Just
uh
wanted to like label me and categorize me as someone who is like a potential threat, and I'm like,
she comes in guns blazing at your character without
100%. Yeah, that's my thing. I'm like, it's a shot at my character. Like, I was trying to
mm.
explain that to someone. They're like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm like, No, maybe, maybe you will one day."
Mm, but that's something because you hold yourself to a super high standard, maybe, is why you feel it so strongly and why you're
I
aware of
do.
that.
I do. I'm really the hardest person I know on myself. I have the biggest expectations for myself, and sometimes it can be detrimental, but like sh- I shoot for the stars and aim for the moon, right? I think
Okay.
that's how it goes.
Yeah,
Uh,
something like that. You're out. You're definitely a star, bro. So whatever it is, you're doing it.
yeah, it's just like for someone to think that low of me without knowing me
Hmm.
based on how I look and because I'm a man, like I bet it's relatable for plenty of women too. I bet people like women are always just like labeled and all this. It doesn't go per sexes. I'm just saying for me, in my experiences, it comes off a lot harsher towards me. And I know like there's plenty of stuff to fear out there.
Yeah.
Me, I'm not one of those people.
Thank you. And I agree. And anyone who knows you and who has dealt with you would also agree. I'm not just saying this. Um, but you said, aim for the stars, shoot for the moon, whatever it is you miss, you're out there in the stars. You're out there in space.
I try my best, man. I just work hard. That's what it takes. It's just like the effort behind it, the diligence, and taking the time of like what you actually want to do with it. I mean, like everyone
Yeah.
has time. Everyone has time. We can't manipulate that time. We can choose priorities over other priorities,
Mm.
and we can make the best of a shitty situation if we have to or not. But I I just work hard, man. Like the
Yeah,
compliments,
you
I
do.
really appreciate them. I appreciate you.
Thank you,
Um,
sir.
but I do have a hard time with them. It's just like I I do have a lot to share. I do have a lot to talk about. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just another person, man. Like we're all just people on this earth. Like people are like, "Oh, you're a rapper," and I rap. I mean, like my friends, you're like, "Oh, but you're like you can rap and stuff," and blah blah blah. I'm like, no, like we're all coexisting with one another. I don't see you differently than how I see anyone else ever. We're all collectively trying to do great, even
Mm.
though some of
us aren't sometimes. We are all collectively trying to do great for the most part.
Wonderful, wonderful. Some poetry snaps for you, bro. Uh, but speaking of greatness, you got great lines that made me think of a great, famous or whatever you want to call it, hip hop artist, which is from your song number 6, that off that. And you said something, bro, which is super powerful. I think always off of something, always looking. Oh, sorry, always off of something, looking for another substance. And you say, word to J. Cole, who says, "I'm tired of living with demons because they're always inviting more." Is that sort of, are they related?
Yeah,
Because
100%. I mean, like, you try one thing, you get hooked on another thing. The high lasts for a good thing, like a good while, and then you're like, what's next?
mm, mm. I, bro, I don't know if you've watched this. It's like a documentary sort of on Netflix about the uh, crack epidemic.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And
I think I'm
specific.
watching it right now.
Oh,
I think it's Snowfall.
is it? Is that what it's called? I don't.
I don't know.
Okay. It's like brand new, like late 2020 or 2021 is pretty new. Um, but maybe I may have to get on that Snowfall as well so I could educate myself. But what I was trying to say, oh, shout out Jason B in the chat saying double goats for you. Yeah, he sees you in the hat. That's what he.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Always repping the nades. Go buy some.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's beautiful, and we appreciate that. Um, but I lost my train of thought. But I think, oh yeah, it was this lady was on there, I believe, on the documentary, and she was saying that initial feeling is what everyone ends up chasing again. They try different things, something leads to another, but it's because that first feeling, which is unmatchable.
100%. The first time you get high off anything, it's like, whoa, what is this? Like, even the first time I tried marijuana, like, I remember the first couple times I tried marijuana, I'd like didn't get high, and then finally got high, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is insane. And then you can take a break from smoking marijuana and like get close to like an effect like that, but you'll always remember the first time where you realize like, wow. And yeah, you always do try and chase that because you remember what it feels like.
Hmm. Yeah. Trying to chase that, you remember what it feels like, but it's unmatchable. So it's like a race that can't be won, more or less.
My dad has said this to me about cocaine. One bump is too many. One line, one bump is too many, and 100 is never enough.
Wow. Wow. One is too many as a tale of caution, and 100 is not enough. Another tale of caution. It's like you pull an inch, you get a mile out of this addictive race.
Mm-hmm.
This journey, this marathon, this rabbit hole. Wow. Man, your dad is out here. Your family's spitting beautiful advice, bro. Beautiful knowledge.
There's some great people, man. I have
Yeah.
definitely takes a village to raise a child, and my village was a pretty fucking good one, man. I'm very thankful for the people who are in my life.
Brennan, thank you so much for pointing that out, bro. It takes a whole village to raise a child. I was thinking about this like earlier in the week, as I was looking forward to this conversation, and you say on one of your songs, I believe it's the outro, it's like, it's been a long ass journey, it's been a whole ass journey, it takes a whole ass village.
It takes a whole ass village, man.
Yeah, man. Tell us about your village, tell us the impact, the importance, share with
Man,
us more.
the village always builds. Like, I mean, like, depends how you see yourself. I mean, like, I'm a man, but like in the essence of life and all and knowledge, I like you're still a child.
like, yeah, I don't know everything. So yeah, like knowledgeably, like I consider myself like at a very like young age still, you know, like still have a lot to learn
Yes.
and a lot of room to grow and a lot to do. So the village is ever growing. So, but it started off with like my family and my dad and my mom. There are some really good people. I've had a pretty bumpy relationship with my dad, but like we've it's family. Like we've pulled through, you know. Like I'm very happy at the spot where we're at. After my mom passed, my godmother, her name is Sabette. She played a huge role in my life. She's my godmother, best friend, confidant. She's kind of like my spiritual guide. She's super spiritually and energy sensitive. Like we always talking about just otherworldly matters.
Mm.
Um, I had a baseball coach, super important to me. His name is Matt Hensley. He took me under his wing. He showed me and taught me a lot about how to be just a good man and along with my dad, but like just from a different perspective of someone who I'm not like directly living under their roof, learning the rules, spending every day of my life with, you know.
Mm.
Um, and then I could definitely like contribute it to like some people I like grew up with and some of those people who were watching out for me when I was like younger. And then like my friends that I've made throughout the years, like people that you know, like Adam and JB, like they're part of my village. Like they teach me how to grow every day.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, like those everyone the village is an important thing. It's like it's those are the people you can tell. You know, that's like going back to what
Yes.
those are the people you open up to. Those are your vulnerable people. That your village, dude, keep the V's together, man. The village is for vulnerability.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. The village is definitely crucial. The village is important. Whether you're a child, young adult, find one and commit to it, or find one and contribute to it. Uh,
I gotta add to that group my mom's sister, Stephanie, man. I gotta throw her in there because even though she lives in Europe, you know, she was always there for me, and I love her to death. And I probably wouldn't be here without her as well. So she deserves credit where it's due.
Credit where it's due. Amen, bro. I love that. Credit where it's due. I mean, you got bangers all over your all these tracks, bro. But a special one, man. You got song number 7, POS, produced by NFE Paris. Man,
Yes, sir, that's the boy.
that's the boy indeed. You guys got, man. I was thinking we were talking. It's like you got the beats, but you also got the bars. So if you're free to lay down the bars, I'm all for it. As much as y'all could produce, and it's been leading to beautiful discussion on one of the songs. Before we get to the NFB Paris, you got so much. We were talking about being a kid, and it takes a village, and you are an adult. Um, but it's like the imagery that you said. You scream for ice cream. I scream for Bud.
Yeah. I
Could
mean,
you? Hey, they're both substances. I mean, sugar,
yeah,
ice cream, that could be.
ice cream is sugar. Sugar is bad for you, man. Cavities and all that bad stuff. No. I feel like that was more just like a fun one. I mean, like I can't lie, like I still use marijuana and I personally like its benefits. I just don't mix it with tobacco anymore.
Hmm.
So, ice cream for you scream or you scream for ice cream and ice cream for Bud. um,
So for me, what I heard, sort of, is, you know, is there a parallel here that you're showing us? You're a joke, and I appreciate the humor in it, and it's a hypothetical scream. It's, you know, you're not out here yelling at me or whatnot.
but yeah, not like where's my weed?
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah. Which, however, that is possible. Some people,
it is. It
yeah,
is.
yeah. Uh, and you know, between it, the parallel between a kid and their ice cream and adult user with their adult ice cream,
I
the
mean, it is a
substance.
real statement. That is very true. I mean, like it was a play on jokes, but it is very true. I mean, like it's the same thing with alcohol too. I mean, like kids
Mm.
want ice cream, like, oh, it's that treat at the end of the day that they finally get to get. It's that sugary, delightful, freaking whatever that's in that freaking tub of Ben and Jerry's. But
Yeah, yeah.
but
That's
I
gonna.
mean, like, I think it's also another like issue. I mean, like, yeah, there is an issue in it. I mean, like personally, sometimes I like to come home like after a long day at work or like school or whatever I'm doing, and I'm just like, I just want a beer, and it's like, or like I want a bowl, and like that's not always the answer. Um,
Thank you. That's not always the answer. And going back to a cautionary tale earlier of building habits, and whether you say there's physical dependence or not, addiction, there is this danger, this
if
of
you make it
this.
a habit, if you turn it into an everyday thing, it becomes a habit. If you have a long day every day, which a lot of people do,
Mm,
you're gonna be drinking every night or smoking every night, and like everything's
and
good in
that's not what
moderation,
you want.
but that's not what
Yes.
you want. Like you don't
Mm.
want to be like it becomes a monkey on your back. Like you literally just want to go home to drink that beer or smoke that bowl, and then we get that back to the point. Then what?
Mm. Then what? Yes, yes. If that's your only way that to relieve a long day or a hard day or what have you, if for one reason or another you don't have it, then what?
Then
You
what? Yeah, exactly. Like
all these negative pathways that could go down that are coming to my head right now. And, why get there? So, just just like that, when your father very wisely said, "One's too much, hundred's not enough." Don't go down that path. Don't go down that path.
yeah, it's something that can be avoided if you can relieve stress without that kind of like that outside influence
Mm,
slash substance. I mean, like, sure, like it's okay to like feel it out and feel good and like do all that, but like it's okay to do it without that stuff too, you know?
thank you, thank you, thank you. And one thing I like to do, bro, is enjoy music. You make it, obviously, but how much is it a joy to make music with people who you vibe with? Friends. Like, it kind of, you started this whole thing, like you told us, in the car with your friends, and it was friendly competition. But now you're making amazing songs. I mean, back to the one with NFE Paris. You guys are good friends, I know.
Yeah, Brian, yeah, Brian and I go, he's my big from
Yeah.
Greek life. Dude, you should watch out for him. He's on the come up, man. He's been killing it, dude. Like, he has some power moves in play. I'm super happy to see where he's come. And I love making music with him. I wish we were closer, even though I'm in Arizona, but and he's in San Diego. But you know, he he's another guy that you should get on one of these podcasts because he's gone through it too, man. Like it's awesome working with him because we can, when we do have the time to sit down and make stuff, we understand each other and like what
Mm.
we're working on. Or if like I can like text him out of the blue and be like, got any beats? And he'll send me some stuff which he thinks that I can like go with or like flow on and kill. And that was like one of the things he sent me one time, and I'm like, dude, like, and we do this like here and there still. We're pretty busy people, and he's very busy guy, making lots of big power moves. So um,
Yeah, I
I
see him.
love I love collaborating with the homies and friends. Um, it's just a matter of time. It's a timing thing and a space thing right now for me, or a distance thing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
whenever I have the opportunity, I love to. I mean, there's plenty of guys that
and I know that like we've had some fun messing around with some music. Thomas, Robert, Niket, all these cool
Yeah,
dudes. I love creating with them. They're awesome
the
guys.
loose cannon picking up steam, bro.
Yeah, man, he's getting some good streams.
Yeah, man, I love all that. Thank you for sharing about your creative process, bro. Thank you for everything. This it's been a whole ass journey. It's taken a whole ass village. Uh,
It
you,
really
my
has.
man, are 11 out of 10 all the time, bro. uh, I can't thank you enough, bro. I've been super anxious. Like, I think this is a serious topic, and I respect you, and I see you as um, you're younger than me, but I see you as a developing person. I see myself as a kid. So if I call you a kid, I don't mean it out of disrespect. It's because I
Oh, never, never.
thank you. I see each other as uh, more closer to each other than further apart.
100%, 100%.
Thank you, thank you. Um, so I hope man, come out here. I hear I got a sneak peek that you may have some works in incoming. So I'm super excited about that. Whenever you
Yeah,
want.
I was on a little, I was taking a little break of silence just to gather myself, and I was kind of working on a little thing. I had a little audition recently for an A&R, so I was working on that, but now I'm back to getting some projects out and releasing, and some music will be coming out shortly, man.
Wow,
Hopefully.
wow. You got a man. Radio silence, A&R audition, new works coming up. Man, you got. We could dedicate just a whole year of podcast for that. You got to come back on here and share more, bro.
I would love to. I would love to.
Amazing. Before we close it off, I appreciate your time, bro. Thanks so much.
I
It's been,
appreciate you for organizing this. Thank you very much.
dude, my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. I'll keep working. I'll keep practicing so that I could host a more smooth flowing conversation because you have conversations off the top. I don't have the freestyle like you do. Uh, but leave us off with one positive note, bro. Whether it be advice or uh, a phrase. I know you got some good ones under your belt. So, what advice do you have to someone listening who could be listening? Today's April 23rd, 2021. Lockdown has officially not been lifted, or quarantine hasn't been lifted. What advice do you have to someone to living life positively in these times?
Hmm.
For me, I'll give you some time to think about that one because I know you have so many good ones. Um, I personally, I'm not gonna, you told me something about taking care of my problems before they get too big. Oh,
That's what I was
hello.
about to say. Yeah.
Uh, let's see here. We have. That's so funny. We just disconnected on a camera, but we're going back up. You told me not to let my problems get too big. Eat my frogs before they turn to dragons.
Yeah. That was probably what I was gonna end it with. Just because like I feel like that is a big factor in my life right now. Um, it's just taking care of the problems when you meet them like face to face, and taking care of those problems become before they become bigger than reality, like a frog you can catch with a net.
Hmm.
A dragon you cannot catch at all. um I mean, yeah, it's just like don't let your problems become bigger than they need to be. Take care of them. Realize what's going on, what's going down. This could be as small as like a task, like it could be a homework assignment. Like if you just leave that thing lingering, it's gonna be a problem after a while. Or like even if it's something interpersonal, like if you know you're feeling sad, and you just let it keep growing and festering inside you, like you'll become depressed. And if you don't
Mm.
take care of that, then it becomes a problem and it starts to affect a lot of other parts of your life, you know? And like I can speak from experience. So the biggest thing I can say is it's all about priority management, man. Like don't let your frogs turn into dragons. Prioritize the things you think you need to, and you know, believe in yourself sometimes. Take a chance on yourself. I was hesitant to move out here and make such a big investment on myself, and I didn't know if I was ready, but I did. And I'm out here and I'm really happy that I did. And I didn't think I could do it at first. And a lot of people doubt you, but
Mm.
you know, the one person you live with on a daily basis is yourself, so might as well treat yourself like you love them. So
Amen. Amen. 100 poetry snaps, bro. You said it so beautifully. I'm not gonna try to summarize what the boy said. Listen to Mr. Bernard, Barcode 813. Bump him wherever you can bump him. Support the work. Listen to more stuff incoming. It's gonna be beautiful.
yeah,
Thank you,
stay
sir.
tuned. Stay tuned. Buy some Nage too. Teenage Funeral, Barcode 813, and tune into this freaking podcast because it slaps.
Thank you, bro. One love. Appreciate you.
One
Thank
love,
you,
man.
everyone, for tuning in. Wherever you are, whenever you are, y'all have a great day. Thank you.